10 years ago, I lived in a small village surrounded by rolling green hills and endless fields of sunflowers. It was a quiet place where everyone knew each other, where secrets were hard to keep, and where traditions dictated much of our lives. I was only 18, young and naive, filled with dreams of love and adventure. I believed in fairy tales, in the kind of love that swept people off their feet and changed their lives forever. There was a boy in our village named Alex. He was tall, with dark hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 secrets. Many girls admired him. He was charming, confident, and had a way of making people feel special. I liked him too, maybe even more than the other girls did. At 23, Alex was older, more experienced, and more mysterious. I ignored the whispers about him, the warnings from my mother, and the stern looks from my aunt. Alex is not a good boy, my mother often said, her eyes filled with worry. Stay away from him. My aunt would nod in agreement. He's nothing but trouble, mark my words. But I didn't listen. I was young, reckless, and infatuated. I believed that love could change a person, that perhaps Alex was misunderstood. So, when I saw him at a village dance party one Saturday night, I let my heart lead the way. My friends and I were eager to go to the dance, though my mother hesitated. "It's not safe," she said, concern lacing her voice. "Please, Mom," I begged. "I will stay with my friends." Reluctantly, she agreed, but I could tell she was uneasy. The party started slow, with only a few people at first. The music played softly, and the lanterns swayed in the breeze. Then more people arrived, laughter and chatter filling the air. And then Alex came. He saw me and smiled, his expression making my heart pound in my chest. When he asked me to dance, I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. As we moved together, under the twinkling lights, I forgot the warnings, the rumors, the doubts. His hands were warm as he held mine, and his voice was soft when he spoke. He made me laugh, and I felt safe, at least for a little while. When the party ended, Alex leaned close and whispered, "Let's go for a drive." Excitement bubbled inside me. Okay. Alex's car was famous in the village. It was sleek, shiny, and fast. I climbed in, feeling like I was stepping into another world. We drove around the village, the night air cool against my skin. The stars shone brightly, and I felt an unfamiliar thrill course through me. But then Alex turned onto a lonely road, away from the village, away from the lights and people. My excitement faded, replaced by unease. He stopped the car in a deserted spot and turned to me, his gaze intense. He leaned in, trying to kiss me. "No, Alex," I said, my voice shaking. "I want to go home." But he didn't listen. He grabbed my hand, his touch no longer gentle but forceful. I pushed him away, fear gripping my heart. "Stop, Alex!" I shouted. Anger flashed in his eyes. "You're boring," he muttered, before shoving the car door open and pushing me out. I stumbled, landing hard on the ground. The night was dark, the air cold, and I was utterly alone. My house was miles away. I had no choice but to walk. My feet ached, my shoes not meant for such a journey. Every step was painful, but I pressed on, tears streaming down my face. When I finally reached home, exhaustion overtook me. I collapsed onto my bed and cried until no more tears would come. The next morning, I told my friends what had happened. Their expressions were filled with sadness, but not surprise. "Alex is always like this," one of them said. "He did the same to us." "Why didn't you warn me?" I asked, my voice breaking. They exchanged guilty looks. "Everyone knows," another friend said. "We thought you knew too." That night changed me. I learned that love should not be blind, that warnings exist for a reason. I became stronger. 2 years later, I left the village, determined to build a new life for myself in the city. And the city, I found work in a small bookstore. I loved the scent of the pages, the quiet atmosphere, and the way people came in searching for stories that could change their lives. Every morning I walked to work, enjoying the hum of city life. One day, as I stood under a tree waiting for the rain to stop, a man approached me. He held a large red umbrella, and his smile was warm. "Do you need help?" he asked. He was tall and kind, with gentle eyes that seemed to see beyond the surface. I hesitated before nodding. "Yes, thank you." He walked with me to the bookstore, his presence comforting. His name was Daniel, and he worked in an office nearby. As we reached my workplace, he turned to me. "Can I see you again?" I smiled. "Maybe." The next day, Daniel came to the bookstore. He bought a book, then another the next day, and another after that. Soon he was coming every day, and we talked about everything: books, movies, dreams. His laughter was contagious, and I found myself smiling more than I had in years. One day he asked, "Do you want to go for coffee?" I said yes. At a small cafe, we shared stories. He told me about his younger sister, how much he loved her, and his dreams of traveling the world. I told him about my past, about my village, my parents who lived far away, and how sometimes I still missed home. We spent more time together, strolling through parks, watching movies, visiting museums. I was happy. But then, suddenly, Daniel disappeared. Days passed, then weeks. I waited, but he never came to the bookstore. I felt a familiar sadness creeping in, the ache of abandonment. Where was he? I wanted to call him, but I had no number, no way to reach him. Then one evening, it rained again. As I walked home, feeling lonelier than ever, I saw it. A red umbrella. My heart leaped. Daniel stood outside my building, waiting. "Where were you?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry," he said. "My sister was sick. I had to be with her." Relief flooded me. "I'm glad you're back." Daniel held the umbrella over me. "Let's go for a walk." We walked through the rain, the city lights reflecting off the wet streets. The cold didn't matter. I felt warm inside. Years passed. Now I am 30, married to Daniel, living in a cozy house with a garden. Sometimes, when it rains, we take our red umbrella and walk together, just like that first day. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes, the smallest moments, like a simple umbrella in the rain, can change everything. Looking back, I understand that everything happens for a reason. My past taught me lessons, shaped me into who I am, and though it was painful, it led me to where I am today, and for that I am grateful.